I should get some water. I smell like rust. I got so much metal in me, I smell like rust. Hello, welcome to my tiny little tube. My name's Marge, and I like to share my experience, strength, and hope on the things that are getting better on the earthly plane. Because I feel about things better about things within me. So if more people are jumping on that bandwagon, then things are looking up on planet Earth. We're still trying to get used to the new norm around here. Big shifts for old Marjo. Luna's doing pretty good. She's right here. She's the last one. Last night we were watching a movie that I hadn't seen in a number of years. Watched it when I was like 2-3 years old. One of the times we had to escape from a domestic violence situation. We stayed with this lady named Polly. She always smelled like alcohol. She's a wino. She liked wine a lot. She welcomed us to into her home when nobody else would for safe haven, and she had these Irish setter dogs. They were all wound up. They were they were cool. They were kind, loving dogs, and I remember for a few days, for a while, we posted up in her living room, and we watched Darby O'Gill and the Little People. And I started thinking about, that was like one of the, I had a near-death experience there. Back then, this is like 1976, 77, so like appliances and stuff, they aren't like the appliances that are made now. They're like extra heavy, like doors and stuff. Like you pull on the refrigerator, you feel the suction kind of thing. And now everything's just trash, just a junk. So she kept a big old bag of bubble gum that is like yellow and blue and pink in the freezer. And I went out to help myself to the bubble gum, and I wasn't supposed to. And I got the lid up, and I'm an itty bitty little girl. I'm a tiny little bit, and I fell into the freezer, and the lid came crashing down. And I was so tiny that it was like me, the bubble gum. I'm standing on the bubble gum, but I still couldn't push the lid up. I wish you well, person going off to do silly things for people that I don't I'm pretty anti-military, so I wish her well. I tell everybody don't enlist, but if you're gonna go, good luck to you. You know, let me know. I hope when she gets back, she can tell me her account. Like I tell people that it's complete bullshit. It's just a bunch of rich guys playing chess with actual lives. That's what the military on Earth is. Well, we pay ourselves hazardous duty and gives us ourselves breaks like tax-free and stuff like that. So I guess it all averages out, you know. But murder's a sin. That's cool. I understand. I was a part of it. I was a part of killing so many people in Iraq, supposedly. What did they say? I looked it up because I didn't know. I looked it up on Wikipedia. So I looked up lives lost during shock and 03. I'm trying to make a society where people, like moms, don't have to leave the home to go fucking kill people in places they don't belong. Like they could stay here and take care of the kids. That's the society I'm trying to create. So I can't perpetuate that. I can't keep talking about the same stuff that's breaking society and keeping it sick. 03. So it says during shock and awe bombing campaign in the 2000 invasion of Iraq, approximately 6,700 civilians deaths were within the first 3 weeks. That's when I was on Crete. So when I was on Crete and I went to work every day, just doing just bringing aircraft, their equipment, so they can start and take off and go bomb. Like they say, there's no air power without ground power, and that's what my job was. So I contributed to the death. That's a lot of chains on Ebenezer Scrooge's fucking soul sack to weigh down. So to alleviate the pain and suffering of my weight, I share with the whole world how rich, creepy people with bad ideas that like to get their rocks off from killing these people. That's why they do it, dude. They can't get aroused by like humane ways anymore by just loving their spouse, you know, and being kind and loving. No, they have to arouse violence. That's how they, you know. That's why American members have they don't talk about their service, because a lot of them do pervy, creepy things in times of war, and they can't justify it to their families that this is what they have inside them, and they can't get rid of the fact that they have that inside them. So that's why a lot of people freaking, like, you know, because that's why so many veterans are killing themselves every day, is because we live a lie and they're not allowed to tell the truth. Because nobody believes them anyway, and I'm like, fuck that. I'm gonna tell the truth. America's a lie. I'm not gonna be mad about it, because I used to be mad. But this death of this last dog of mine, man, it's changed me. Grief has changed me. And we're in the month that my sister died. That was grief that changed. It's just like, either I'm going to get more angry and more mad, which is going to perpetuate violence within me, which the system gets paid to do. I'm not going to let them win, so I'm going to go more into my heart. I'm going to live more from my heart. When I was a little girl, terrible things happened to me, and I had this thing in my brain that I didn't want to be weak. I didn't want to be a weakly. I didn't want to be a weakly little wussy girl. So I overcompensated. I became this little bulldozer, you know. I was all tough and everything. And those came with my own lessons. And there's a time that I wanted to be a little boy, but that's how a little 5-year-old girl thinks when she doesn't want to have to go inside to go pee. But, you know, then system created a society that feeds the whim of a mentality of a 5-year-old, because they never progressed, they never advanced, they never grew up. So they want everyone else to be dumbed down like them. And how do you dumb down? Just doing whatever you want. Self-will run riot, no discipline, no accountability. That's how you dumb down. Just too much of a good thing. So when I was a little girl and I became all tough, and as I got older, I found different ways to cope with these energies inside, you know. But Mom was always instilling the importance of not hurting people, keeping your hands to yourself, like all of these things. Like, you don't hurt people because you're mad, you don't hit people, like, you don't bite, like all these things. And now I'm looking around and I'm like, dude, grown-ass adults and all over the world haven't learned these things. So what I come to realize now, 51 years old, looking back at my story, you know, my resistance, and it isn't to life in the world and how it is. My resistance is me and how I respond to the world. That's what my resistance is. So I had to learn how to do positive coping skills after drinking for 13 years. That was my primary coping skills, you know. The only thing I have left is flour. That's it. And I'm like trying to get off sugar, and I'm never going to get off 100%, but I can cut way down a lot, you know. I'm so happy to see so many people getting on their health journey. They're at least trying, you know. You got to make your body that's comfortable for you. And my body has always been comfortable at like 165, and I'm only 5'4", but muscle weighs more than fat. I know a lot of people don't believe that to be true. I mean, because a lot of guys carry around a lot of fleshy people, a lot of people, not gender specific. But I did it too for a number of years. You know, like I wore this level of my soul sack, my extra weight. I was almost 200 pounds, not muscle, because it was like wearing a coat, like it was a layer of protection for me. Like it made me feel stronger, but it was just causing more harm to my body. So that's just more shit you had to let go of, you know? Like letting go of the desire to eat foods that are awful for me, because then I ate them when I was a little girl one time at a time that I felt better. Making those disconnects. So there's when I first got the dogs back in 2013 or 10 rather, like everything was going good for, like life was so good for me, you know. And then as things changed and things started getting stripped away, you know, but I was still getting angry about so much stuff. Just this, just frustration, the vibrational frequency of me resisting my powerlessness, and like seeing how my life is being guided and directed, but knowing that that's not the way that I want it to go. But you know, surrender is a key in harmony. So nothing of this earth is for me. I'm just here to offer protection and guidance to some things that I find to be very valuable to my heart, namely mom and my critters. So going, because I have so much masculine energy, going through the process of realizing what was happening to me, that with my body changing naturally, and then with the 8 anthrax vaccines that were foreignly introduced as a military experiment on me, like I just have, my life has, the last 8 years has just been a steady progression of learning how to not get mad about shit, all the while stuff happening that is really easy, that I could cure a whole lot of justifiable anger if I so choose. So I have to not choose. I have to choose to let go, because anger is a frequency, and every time I hang on to it, it's like I'm putting on a 20-pound pack on my body, on my adrenal glands, you know. Like I'm still recovering. I'm pretty sure I had some sort of adrenal shutdown after Tuck left, just from being in such a heightened state for fucking 4 days waiting for the stupid fucking holiday fucking bullshit, because holidays are dumb. Holidays are just dumb. Why are people perpetuating the, like, it's like we want a new earth, but you know what, still fucking Labor Day? It's dumb. Like, get the fuck over that shit. Let's get on with things. People just need to be planting gardens and building shit, you know? So they're setting up the stage of inclement weather in New Mexico. I look a lot at radars and stuff like that, and and weather patterns in my the way I see it, they come with incongruence with the magnetics in the freaking firmament, like those balls, you know, with the, and then with the electric frequency within the ground, and that they build up little energy balls, and then the energy balls fucking throw moisture back at the earth, cleansing it from all the fucking scumbaggery. That's what New Mexico is getting, man. You're the last place state, dude. People are so proud of New Mexico for like the color of chilies they eat. The burger, like it's Albuquerque. They just put out a new list. Albuquerque is more dangerous than fucking Colombia. So people need to be walking around thinking about their behavior and not being their brother's keeper and stuff like that. Not tell people like, you don't hit people, you don't shoot people, you don't do drugs, you don't be a boozer all the time, you don't, live in gluttony and fucking sloth, you can't be a scumbag whenever you want all the time, because when too many people do that on a collective basis, then it, and it's not just, I think I'm just using these terms as identifier for other people, but when I think about places, I don't think about borders. Borders are made up imaginary lines. So people within these made up imaginary lines can dictate and regulate how they want things to be. But let me tell you something. That Einstein guy supposedly said something to the effect of, you can't create the same consciousness, that you can't solve problems with the same consciousness that creates it. Well, people that are in charge on local, city, county, state, federal, all these governments, none of these motherfuckers have ever taken care of anybody else. Very few have probably wiped the ass of another human being as an act of service and charity, or soaked their feet, or done these things for any amount of time on a weekly basis. They have fake faces, they have fake bank accounts, yet they are put in positions of authority and power to designate what they need to do. They don't care about taking care of other people. They take care of themselves. Ozzy didn't care about you. Biff don't care about you. You know? I think it's funny that there was an I just heard a weird TikTok about how a dude, he was a Satanist, and he's like, yeah, I used to do this spell that I'd go into the singing booth and I'd help them get a little couple extra higher octaves. These singers, I do a spell and then you do something and then whoa, the voice goes up. I'm not going to say what they do, but people want fame so much that that's what they do, right? And I think about some of these women people that I've seen with a large vocal range. I remember I saw back in Tacoma, 2016-17, August, that Gaga chick. I was living for me ego. I was on a bender kind of a thing, so I was living for my ego. So I went up to that show and saw Bradley Cooper. Like, they just wrapped that Star is Born movie, which is a remake of, because they just keep people reminding them of things in the past, so they're never focusing on their present. And she was she just did a concert recently, and she had to cancel because she lost her voice. So I wonder if those spells wear out and if she's gonna have to re-up. Because people do weird. My whole life, the shit that I've seen people do to put themselves in higher advantage in life, I just look at them and say, no, I don't want to be like them. And then I go back to hang out by myself. I'm always trying to find people who I can, peers. I'm always trying to find peer groups. I just can't seem to find these peer groups. There aren't a lot. I don't have a lot of peers. So, people are, everybody's going on a great exodus. People are leaving where they are everywhere. I don't know where they're going, but they're leaving all over the place. And so within this great exodus, because people are leaving Taos, but so many people are coming. It's just the boiling pot. It's like pot, because people are feeling so powerless inside and sped up and anxious and all that stuff, that they're not doing anything to calm themselves down. So they're taking that energy in groups of where other people are feeling this, and it's just all going to start combusting. It already is. I can't believe how crazy violent people are. I don't want to be violent. I don't like hitting people. Dude, it is so easy to break bones. Most people are not even, they don't even know. I'm seeing a lot of people like getting into the mix, and then somebody's like they're making contact good, and then they're like, and then they think they're all big and tough. It's just like, dude, you accrued that karma now. You don't know how that is going to come back to you in the world, because you couldn't keep your hand, because you don't have emotional control. So now you are known as the person that somebody can't exchange words with. It's not safe, because it's going to go above the words, and they're going to get offended, and then violence ensues. And Sticks and stones, man. Let that shit go. The stuff I had to learn, like I have a very narcissistic, antagonistic. I have Virgo in my third house, and then I had an older brother Virgo and a younger sister Virgo. She's the one that died, and then he's a total fucking, like, it's just, it's, they show me what happens when I live imbalanced and just do what I want to do. Like, my sister taught me a painful lesson. Her 3 kids, the father didn't know I existed. So I just can't hang on to the hurt that could come with that. So I just, nah, you're right. That's weird. Bots? Anyway. That's like, anyway. So, alright, I think I'm about done for now. Hey, you pretty girl. You pretty girl. So there's a high turnover. If you don't value your life, let's just hope you did something that was worthy to somebody else while you were here. Because, I mean, like, if people can't do things for other people, what the fuck good are you anyway? And like, it's so weird to me to see people of all ages, grown ass men and everything. They're all sitting in these big rooms, right? And they have their little video game screens, and they're all just sitting their little video, and they're sitting. That's what they do. This is what their lives are. Those are NPCs to me. People that go, you know, you hear the crack of the bat and the roar of the crowd. All the people in the crowd that have, you know, inaudible faces, or it's, you know, those are NPCs to me. The groups that make up the fake realities. It's not the fake realities that make up the groups. That's how I see it in the Marge tricks anyway. But I ain't never lived on the same planet as everybody else. So now we have this Pisces eclipse. I would like to connect with people that have at least 3 planets in Pisces. Mine are Venus, Mercury, and Jupiter. So, you got 3 or more planets in Pisces, I probably make more. And no Earth. You can't have no Earth in your chart either. Because if you have Earth, then you're grounded, and I'm not going to make no sense to you. I live in the no place space, the ethers, the 5th element, where all the data and information is held. The vapors, the evaporators. I think water's liquid light. And light is where all the information travels through the wires, like on computers. You know, light bulbs, ideas. I get so many good ideas taking it in the shower, just thinking about stuff because of the water, or standing in the Rio Grande, or the Sacramento, or the Mediterranean Sea, or the Pacific Ocean, or the Gulf of Mexico. And then I think about how many people don't get to get good ideas because they don't get to stay clean. And that's an imbalance, and that's not fair. I'm trying to make fairness and accountability a cool thing again. You know, so people, no viables. It's like my brain always thinks is for every hour I'm playing, I should be working for 2 in some capacity, whether it's for myself, mom, somebody in the community, you know. And America ain't trained that way. That's not how it's programmed. America's concerned to freaking go hang out in the mud in the desert and break other people's shit and call it a good time. Like that, just do whatever you want. And America got out of control because it's run by a bunch of freaking creepy pervy people that keep it under wraps. They don't got good ideas. And the shift of power is in full swing. And I'm seeing it myself. All these dudes are overcompensating. Every time I go outside, I hear it. These little fucking shit stains on the fabric of society with their big old fucking $80,000 trucks that their fucking grandma bought them. And then they race. Dude, they're so. All these people have expensive cars and they're shit cars because they fucking drive around racing them around like little matchbox cars. And they don't know how to take care of shit. It's not me, it's them. I used to be like them. So I appreciate them reminding me of my character defects if I decide to just let myself will run. It's so funny because I live like, where I live is like a little intersection type thing, right? And then all morning long I hear, they got it, they speed, they gun it. They fucking gun it, right? Because they got the zoomies inside. They're ready to go off and do practically nothing all day in Taos, New Mexico. So they race off just so they slow down because about 50 yards from where they pull off is a school zone. So they speed up to slow down. It's the dumbest fucking thing. People are so hilarious to me. The logic escapes me. But it's my Gemini. It's Saturn 29 degrees. 17 minutes. So I'm like always torn between logic and woo-woo. I'm a contrarian. I'm a heyoka. I contradict myself. You know, there's always different ways of thinking, not just mine. That's why and then I got Gemini and Mars too, so I appreciate other people's point of views. I'm always looking to learn from other people. They're just usually teaching me shit either I already learned or they're affirming it's just more redundant. I'm looking for teachers, like the great ones. And I reach out to people all the time because I see things in them, but like attracts like. So I see things in them, potentials like, man, I bet together, like, we could do things to help people, right? Because they act like they're for others too. But then when I make connections with them, it comes out that, like, nope, they're just always about themselves. So far, that's how it's been. Things are changing. But I'll keep trying because I believe that people can evolve and change. So I'm the one that'll make the same mistakes sometimes 2-3 times. I just, but if I watch people and they're still doing the same behaviors, and they're like getting more stuff, but they're not becoming more generous, there goes their ego. We're out of alignment, and then I fall away from them. And then I'll check in on them and see how they're doing every now and again. But they don't want to do nothing for fun and for free because they got kids and overhead and warehouses and all these other people that they got to make sure get to go on vacation. When I live in a life that I've been on a fucking vacation in 7 years, so why the fuck do they get to play so much? Like, why do people like me exist that have had to work so hard while I just watch people that have play? And none of them have ever taken an hour to at least sit with mom for an hour. You know what I mean? Like, all play and no work makes America a pervy place. Because people are willing to do less for more. And the less stuff that they do, you got to sell yourself more to do it. You got to compromise those godly requests of, treating your body like a temple and not, butt stuff's not a good idea, all that stuff. But, humans evolved past humanity. They evolved into their demons. They succumb, and then they just do things that they think is fun and feels good all the time. There's no discipline in that. So more and more people do it. Like, where are all the good people? I know a couple. Shit, I'm 51, and I've been giving away weed cookies to strangers for 5 years. As a good karma. Like, you got pain? You like these? You use plant medicine? Try these plant medicine. So you know what I do? Instead of worrying about having a good night's sleep, I do what I can to help other people get a good night's sleep. I don't know many people that do that. It's a trip because last night was the second night. I got a full night's sleep. Like, I slept all the way through. These are things that haven't happened, understand, in like 7 years for me. 8 years. used to sleep. Well, I used to take like 2 Tylenol PM, and those would knock me out. But because I could, but that, you know, and then I stopped that, and then sleep became very hard for me, which was hard because with all my pineal and energy, I process. Sleep to me is my spirit. Is when I sleep, I breathe in a meditative rhythm from my years of meditating for an hour, 2 hours, in my roughest times. That my body just is, and every night I'm meditating. So to me, sleeping is my spirit going into different dimensions, working in timelines that are happening congruently as I'm walking the dogs. I believe in an all things possible multi-universe in ways that I haven't heard other people express. Like, to me, like, there's a universe for every show on Roku. You know, like, for every, you know, that's how they tell, that's how we create our world, by what we tune into. Whether it's on TV, music, or tune out of, whether we're just, you know, people ignore all that and they're in nature all the time. Like, that, just because you're set apart from all of these reality that's being created doesn't mean that you are not a part of that reality, based on what collective consciousness is looking at. Again, these are things that I've looked. I've been doing YouTube videos for 8 years. I had my first account made back in 03 though, but I was on the other side of 3D Earth. I was in 3D Earth, and the world slowly has shown me that there is no place for me on this planet. Because I've tried to be I've been a part of so many organizations, groups, clubs, and excelled in each and every one. And then I get to a point where they are not a place of integrity, and I don't want to be like the people that are a part of them, so I excuse myself, trying to go make my own thing. I'm looking for people to be on my board. Can you, I need guidance, like, I need a lawyer is what I need. Because I need to answer questions like, would you have a false nonprofit of whatever, or what a LL, whatever, you know, like, I'll do all the legal shit that people want to do, but I don't want to do it. I'll pay other people to do it. I'm the idea person. That's why so many people don't do ideas, because they don't want to have to pay all, like, we get a piece of paper and they designate it that it costs, or do it online, you know, when it's should be free, anything online, you know, like, there should be no cost for digital it's stupid, but some stupid cousin has to get paid because their kid wants to play football, so you got to buy all their, like, that's what America is. Systems are not implemented. Systems are welfare for the people that comprise the system. They have nothing to do with helping any sort of constituent. Look. See, you try and almost be homeless with your mom and dogs freaking out, and you start calling the agencies, and you will quickly see how unqualified you are too, even with all the qualifications.
Hi, Brittany. Can I kiss you? Mwah! It's a Brittany.
I'm gonna make breakfast today. I haven't been feeling up to cook in a couple days, but I'm gonna go make a bagel egg sandwich. Mom's gonna get up soon. It's overcast. They're already sprayed for. They've been spraying for stuff for days. Now they're gonna bring in what a hurricane, whatever, tropical depression bullshit. Make nonsense. Oh, 6,616 civilian deaths attributed to the U.S.-led forces during the entire invasion phase. And then when I was at Offit after that happened, and then that Assange guy, like, I was always team Assange because I worked with a bunch of these guys, man. Like, don't talk to me about your rules and regulations and trying to get me in trouble when you fuckers dodge them all the time. It's just a club, man. It's just more bullshit, dude. The shit that people get away with in the military, and then they call it military intelligence or military secrets. No, it's stupidity. It's they do whatever they want and keep the rest of the world out, and then we pay for their shit. It's dumb. That's what the military is. That's why so many veterans are pissed off. They just don't. I don't know that they know how to put together like a puzzle like I have. I don't know. I think that they just see that what they do is bullshit. What they did is, a lot of times is bullshit. Like, and it's so me having to watch. There was this time when I was on Crete that there was this dude walking across the the park. Jeez, trail. My brain has holes in it. He was walking across the taxiway. And he had all of his gear. And I was in my service truck, my Bobcat. And so I made way toward him and asked him if he needed a lift. And he's like, yeah, thanks. Because freaking other people just passed me by, Like, he's got helmet, like, he's got a bunch of shit. And so he threw his gear in the back of the truck. And I was like, where are you going? And he's like, I'm headed over there. And I was like, and I kind of hesitated because back then I thought all this shit was cool and stuff still. And he's like, yeah, I'm going over to, I said, you're going to the B1? And he was like, so I was a little starstruck, honestly, not going to lie. I said, because how many, like, think in terms of the whole wide world. And how many people pilot the B-1 bomber? And I'm giving this dude a ride. And so I go up into the B-1. But this is how they do. This is what they do. It's appeal to emotion. They get you to think this shit's cool because it is cool, right? But then you have the experience that I have, and then it quickly became less cool. So I pull up on the outside because it's all blocked off. You can't go in with the road. You have to have special access to get near it. And so but it was just me and him. There is no. And the guy guarding it, the guy with the SP guarding it, and I said, well, I can help you with your stuff, and he's like, that'd be great. And I said, can I go up into the cockpit? He said, yeah, sure. Mind you, I have my clearances, but I'm aged, but I don't have permission to be up in the cockpit of a B-1 bomber. Like, I could have been up there and gone. And so, but what I did, you have to climb the ladder and you go up it. It's just like Star Wars. They make Star Wars and then they plant those seeds. And then you show kids that are, capable, we can make that happen. It's just like Star Wars. And so I go up in the cockpit and I'm standing there and I'm looking at all the instruments and I'm looking out and I look straight ahead out the window and I just got, like, my whole body just started buzzing, right? And then I was just like, it was a trip. And then I go back down and I go back and, we separate and then, a little while later, he takes off. Now, you understand, the B-1 bomber, those are the ones that are so loud that car alarms go off. Like, it shakes your soul out of you a little bit. And so, and then years later, or a couple months later, not years, because I'm back at Offit, mind you, and all the Assange stuff is coming out. And I'm sitting, and I've come back in from doing my flight line maintenance, and I see this guy, he's sitting behind the computer. Now, they would send these videos around like office email, okay? But in the military, the office emails that you're getting sent around, they're a guy in a B-1 bomber shooting Iraqi civilians and laughing about it. And when I saw that, it occurred to me, like I was in the same space that the person that killed a lot of people. Like, I was energetically, and so all I can try to do now is transmute energetic frequency like that I have into truth and authenticity. Because to me, love is a lie. Even like I've had every person that has ever said that they've loved me has watched me fall on my face when they could have like at least say, you know, Marge, I know you're going through a hard time, but I believe in you. Not one of them ever did. No, not one. Mom is the only one. So that's why I take such good care of her, is because that's why, like, when anytime anybody something bad happens to anybody on my feed, I'm in their IMs because I know how much it sucks. I'm the foul weathered friend. That's about all I got for now. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you have a rad day. Peace.